You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Hey guys, well, it's been a while, almost a year actually, so forgive me if I'm a little bit rusty here and looking a little green. Um, that's not me turning into a Hulk or anything, not really, just goofy lighting at my new gym. So I changed up gyms and I'm loving it. It's a lot more hardcore, a lot of bigger guys there. I'm not going to show you in this video because I want me to look good, not them, right? Here I'm starting off with a pull day, and if you can ignore the guy rolling up his sexy shorts there, you're going to see I'm rolling. I use a lot of foam roller techniques at home, but here in the gym, they don't have it. Actually, they just got it in. They got foam rollers in now, but prior to that, I had to use this medicine ball, which I found worked really well. I was able to get into every little nook and cranny of my back, stretch it out, and break up a lot of that tight tissue. Um, and I guess my ass is tight too, because that's where I'm rolling. Honestly, what I realize is that with my lower back problems, my hips, my hams, those areas really tie into my lower back. So if I'm going to be working on or worried about a part, I often look upstream and downstream from that part. So if it's my lower back, which it is, I've got two herniated discs, I try to go up from there and down from there and see if I can loosen everything up accordingly. I know this looks kind of goofy. I'm sure, it looks goofy to everybody, but for me, it's necessary. Okay, so I'm starting out my pull day with back. This is a midline hammer row. You can see my stance is a little bit different. I'm not sitting on it actually. I'm leaning up against it. I've got my chest pressed up against the pad. You can see it a little bit better here. You can also see that my elbows aren't down and tucked into the lat. They're flared. And the reason I'm doing that is because I believe that the wider the elbows, the further it can come back, at least for my body, and that I can get a lot more detail work in the middle. So this is working for me, both that middle back, as in upper back, lower back, middle, but also the detail inside the back. Okay, well, let's see if that worked. Now this here is my favorite exercise of late. For the last few months I've just been digging this machine. This is a hammer strength pull down, and I do it a little bit different than most. From this angle you'll see my back's flared, everything's coming out. This is how I used to do cable pull downs and stuff. But one thing I don't do is really, you don't see a big arch to my back or anything like that. I try to keep it very straight, very in line with the pad in front of me. Let's see, maybe I'll switch up the camera here in a minute. And then you can see that what I'm trying to do here is, even though there's no pad there, I'm trying to keep my body very straight so that I'm bringing my elbows straight down, okay? So it's almost drawing a line. What I'm doing is bringing my thumbs into my ear. On a normal cable pull down, you're pulling the chest or pulling your arms down so it would come across the front of your chest, or sometimes you might do behind the necks. Those are a little bit uncomfortable. Here, I find with this machine, I can hit just that midline of my big skull, and it works perfect. And the next one is a rear delt. I'm using a pec deck or a fly machine here. It's a little washed out because of the lighting, so you can't really see much detail. Not saying that my back has a lot of detail or anything like that. I actually don't like this machine. I find that different gyms, the different machines have a bit of a different personality, a different fit for you. This one, on the bottom end of the motion, it just doesn't feel tight. But, I keep working at it. Alright, moving on to dumbbell shrugs. You can see, actually, on my left arm, this is your right, I pulled the bicep tendon, so it's actually shortened. And so I've got to really watch. I've got a tendency to shrug up with my arms. I've got to make sure that I focus on this and just bring it into the traps. So that little bend in the arm isn't exactly what it looks like. It is, and like I said, I've got a tendency towards it, but I've got to make sure that I work against it. So I've got a lot of concentration here, focusing on those traps. And here's a simple standing barbell curl. Actually, I guess this is an easy curl. Many times I'll go really heavy on this into those big Arnold cheat sets, right? Today my back was tweaking a little bit, so I decided, just not too heavy or anything like that. Maybe this is even heavier than I should have went. I could feel it. I was really stressing my core in this instead of focusing on my arms like I should have been. Not saying I didn't need to stress my core. All right. So here's the concentration curl. I'll do it hanging over a bench, hanging on the rack. I try not to take up the rack because other people got to be grabbing that stuff, right? I always try to throw in some type of rotational exercise into my bicep work. I really strongly believe that the biceps are a lot more multifaceted and multifunctional than a lot of people give them credit for. So it's not just an up and down motion, but at the bottom end you can see the rotation of the wrist and back up. And that's my focus. I'm really trying to focus on that rotation, full rotation. So when I come down at the bottom, here's me kind of stretching it a little bit. Okay, when I come down at the bottom, I'm actually flexing my tris just a little bit. And then I bring it up to the full contraction and back down, okay? So it's important, even though I do a lot of cheat exercises for my arms sometimes, that I make sure that certain exercises have a lot stricter form. For this, I can slow up the tempo. Maybe I didn't do it here, but I can do, count of 5 up, count of 5 down type of thing. And that's it for my pole workout. Back, biceps, rear delts. Sometimes I throw forearms into the mix. I probably should more. And then afterwards, I do some posing. My gym's not really great for having great lighting. I haven't found that magic mirror yet, that sweet spot where everything looks good, right? But I still need to practice. I need to practice my posing, obviously. And it's good for me to finish off my workout, making sure that I can flex everything and that I, brought it to its fullest. So that's it. Hope you dig this video, and I'll catch you later.